Okay, now let us get into this evidence. And this evidence will answer the big question of the day: nature versus nurture. And we're talking about the Remnant twins experiment with Dr. John Money. Let us get into this evidence. The spiritual father of trans movement, Dr. John Money, is twisted experiment in the 1960s and the tragic death of the twin boys whose lives were ruined. How is harrowing true story is a cautionary tale for our times, and it is by a Tom Leonard. We have learned nothing. We have learned nothing, and I'm highly suspicious of this experiment. I'm finding it too convenient that Dr. John Money was able to access identical twin boys to run this type of experiment on, right? Because we see in the article where it states that their mother was a young teen mother and that she looked up to Dr. John Money as a god, right? And we see that type of attitude in today's world where people view individuals in positions, right, especially doctors, right? They view them as gods. They don't question them. Anything they say, they hold on to, right? Now, what happened with the twins? They were born healthy, and one of the boys, their genitalia was badly mutilated. Hence the experiment, and he was transitioned from Bruce to Brenda, and he was castrated at 22 months old, very young. I'm very, very suspicious surrounding the circumstances which led to the Remner twins being in Dr. John Money's experiment. It's too convenient. Let us get into some more of the article, right? John Money is often hailed as the spiritual father of today's trans movement. His research underpins the central claim we hear so often nowadays that while biological sex may be innate, gender identity, a term that Money helped to popularize, along with coining the term sexual orientation, is socially constructed. From this stems the great modern progressive dogma that sex is irrelevant and what truly matters is which gender a person feels they are. Where have we heard that line before? Right? Now, in the interest of time, we're going to go into um, the personality of this man, John Monet, and what he put these children under. Right? Now, let's pick it up from here. At school, Brenda never fitted in, rejected by both the girls she didn't want to play with and the boys she desperately wanted to join. She was bullied mercilessly, and even the teachers were uncomfortable around her. She was very rebellious, she was very masculine, and I could not persuade her to do anything feminine, says her mother, Janet, years later. Brenda had almost no friends growing up. Everybody ridiculed her, called her cave woman. She was a very lonely, lonely girl. Let us get into this section, which I'm finding very disturbing. From the age of 6, the doctor would show them naked pictures of men and women, boys and girls, and of adults having sex. Where have we seen this before? With the books that they are putting in schools, right? Pay attention, right? This is where it's coming from. Screaming at them in fury until they obey. He would force them to strip off their clothes and examine each other's genitalia. Most twisted of all, he often asked them to play at thrusting movement and copulation with the pre-pubescent siblings, forced to pretend to have sex in various positions. These encounters would be photographed, and sometimes Money would summon his academic colleagues to watch. Money was no impartial researcher, having rebelled against his own repressive religious upbringing. He was a bisexual who championed nudity, open marriage, group sex, and hardcore pornography. He also had deeply unsettling views on children and sex. In 1980, he was accused of endorsing pedophilia and incest after he told Time magazine a child with sexual experience such as Being the partner of a relative or an older person need not necessarily affect the child adversely. All of this coming from a man who they believe to be the spiritual father of the trans movement. He reportedly told a Dutch academic journal that he did not see any problem with a sexual relation between a boy aged 10 or 12 who is intensely attracted towards a man in his 20s or 30s. Wow. Brenda Remner told BBC in 2000, I thought he was perverted. I thought he was a sick man. As Brenda grew older, she increasingly felt herself to be male. She admittedly refused to have more extensive surgery to construct a new vagina, a procedure that many regarded as essential to cementing its patient's psychological sex change. So we see where nature wins the argument, right? Now, this evidence is here for you to go and read. Use critical thinking and connect the dots. It's unbelievable the evidence we have out here, but yet still we sit and allow these people to continue, these people in high places to continue to bring in laws to disregard parents' rights so that they can transition children at a dangerously young age. We need to seek the face of the Most High because we are definitely living in the end times. Let us pray and say, Glory be to the Most High.